Hello and welcome to FPL Mate, your best mate for World Cup Fantasy. Today I'm wearing my hoodie that says sorry I'm late. I didn't want to come because I did not want to come to this stream at all. Why do we follow the World Cup? Well, the World Cup is very exciting. It's been absolutely amazing. Honestly, it's the England loss, particularly the way it happened, really has taken it out of me a little bit. I can't lie. My fantasy team is not looking amazing, but look, we are match day 6. We've got just this match day and then the final match day on Saturday to come. We may as well finish it off. Are you guys still interested in World Cup Fantasy? I don't know. I feel like it's very almost time to get back on the FPL train. But we're going to be talking a little bit about some different bits and bobs today. I haven't made any content for match day 6, if I'm honest. I'll try and do a little bit better for match day 7 now. I've kind of got over the England loss a little bit, but yeah, it's kind of taken the wind out of my sails a little bit. I can't lie, and I've just not wanted to engage with football at all, pretty much. But we're back now for an hour, and then we'll go back to crying. But guys, I've got on screen in front of us my scores from for this match day. I actually had one free transfer that I was meant to use. I was planning on using it to get Neymar to either Mbappe or Kane, depending on who won that game. But I didn't do it because I was kind of distracted. Honestly, I didn't think that that game would hit me the way it did, but it really did. It really has. But whatever. We've got to try and play positive. So yeah, these were my scores. Like, look at the defense: 0 points, -1 point, 0 points, 1 point in the goal. You know, not many points. Only 1, 2, 3, 4 of my players actually returned, and yet 4 players returning, and yet that was a green arrow. That was a pretty nice green arrow. We're up to 5,500 in the world, which is actually a pretty decent rank, like a really decent rank, despite the fact that you would say on paper that was a disaster match day. And I guess that just goes to show, like, kind of what we were saying early on in the tournament. As we go through the tournament, the opportunity to get points gets less and less. It gets harder and harder to pick up points, and the points that you do get become more and more valuable. So yeah, at this point, we've got to kind of just come to terms with the fact that not many of your players are going to get points. Like, that's just kind of the way things be. So let's move on to match day 6, and as you can see, we have a very nicely mudded team. How many players have we got? 4, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can anyone beat that? Has anyone got less than 4 playing players for match day 6? Anyone got any less? I haven't made my transfers yet, so obviously we can fix that a little bit. But what I will say, and this is definitely something I've been thinking about over the last couple of days, where I have been thinking about fantasy, because I still do want to maximize my rank. I want to see how high of a rank we can get in this competition, because I still think, there's a good chance of getting something decent. And I genuinely feel the key, and I'm so sorry guys if you guys have already done this, but I feel like the key to doing well in this match day is going to be to not take minus points, to not take those -3s to get those players in. Because at the end of the day, because you only get 1 point for playing in this game, it's really going to be difficult to make up for those 3 points. I mean, if you look at my team last week, for example, if I'm taking a -3 points for Costa, Marquinhos, Hernandez, Shaw, DePaul, Foden, Fernandez, Alisson, Guerrero, Richarlison, or Otamendi, I am going to be down on points. Down very bad if it's a -1 kind of player. There was only 4 players in my entire squad of 15 players that would have been worth it for me to take a -3. So on average, if you're taking a bunch of -3s, on average, that is not going to be worth it for you. So I really feel like I personally would rather go into this match day with less than 50, definitely less than 15 players, even happily less than 11 players, just to make sure that just to make sure that I'm not taking too many minus points. And there is one small caveat to that, and I think this is a really good tip for you guys, is I would say, and this is what I'm thinking of doing, I'm not going to take any minuses today. There is no way I'm taking any minuses today. Zero chance. I've got 5 transfers to use. There's not going to be minuses. What we're going to do after that, tomorrow, if I've got players on, -1 points, for example, then that kind of would tempt me into taking minus points to remove that player. Because if you remove a -2 points player and replace them with, any player in the world, even if you take a -3 to do that, if they score 0 points, which you think there's a chance of them doing, then that is a -2 taken. If they score 2 points, that's a net 0 points taken. So I feel like one strong reason to take a -3 would be if one of your players scores less than 0 points in tonight's match. So I think that's definitely something that I think we should be considering. Jeremy Baker has come in with a super chat. Thank you very much for that very generous $10, Jeremy. I appreciate that, man. Thanks, Dan, for sticking this out. The teams I follow have put me through hell. The struggles are tough and gutting, but the triumphs are worth it and more. And I couldn't agree with you more. It would have been nice. It would have been nice to see England go through a little bit further on. I don't know what teams you guys are following, what teams you guys are supporting, but there's definitely been some highs in this tournament. There's definitely been some lows in this tournament as well. But look, we're still going. We've still got 4 matches left to play. 4 matches left to play. 2 match days left to play. A great thing about this match day is that your players can't get knocked out. And I think that's another real thing to consider, guys, is that whatever players you bring in right now, they can't get knocked out, which is great. So, like I was kind of saying about, maybe not even making a full team for myself. I can make like half a team today. For half a team for match day 6. For match day 7, I can then use the, 6 transfers for match day 7. Let's just double check that's correct. Bear with me. Yeah, there we go. Final/third place playoff, which begins on Saturday. 6 transfers to use for that one. So, therefore, we can make half a team today and we can complete it and have a much more full-looking team in match day 7. But for match day 6, I genuinely feel like taking those minuses is not going to be worth it. You're going to find yourself losing out. And I feel like for me personally, as someone who was just trying to maximize my rank, I would love to get into the... I'm not expecting too much. I don't think ranks are going to be able to move too much at this stage of the competition. I've still got 1 chip left, which maybe is going to help me a little bit. If I could get into the top 5,000 in the world, even with a bare bones team, I think I'll be pretty happy with that. And I think what I will say is that the advantage you will have over people who are just taking crazy -3s, there will be people out there, even at the top ranks, there's probably people watching this stream right now who have already taken minus 15, -18, -21, just to try and fill up their squads, just to try and get enough players to play. But these people, unfortunately, more likely than not, for some people it will work out, don't get me wrong. But on average, that is just going to go very, very badly, I think. I can't see any way around it. If there's a lot of goals, then that's going to mean defenders are going to be on lots of minus points. If there is not a lot of goals, then, if we're getting 1-1 draws everywhere, then there's not going to be very many points available, full stop. Even if there is a lot of goals, who is going to be scoring those goals? Well, it's just going to be your Messis and your Mbappes, really, isn't it? The big players from the teams. So, again, therefore, who are we going to pick? Well, all we need to have is those players. So, there is still some scope to get a couple of players in. But do we need to take lots of minuses? I don't think so. So, looking at my team for matchday 6, obviously, I need to get in some players. The priority is definitely those forwards. So I've got 2 forwards who are not available, Neymar and Richarlison. So the priority here straight away is to make sure we have got some nice forwards in. Mbappe, really, really obvious. If you haven't got Mbappe right now, get him in. If you haven't got Messi right now, get him in. Really, really simple. Make sure you have both Mbappe and Messi. And we've got that final 1 slot for your third forward. Who you're going to go for? From where I sit right now, the obvious / maybe boring choice is going to be Giroud. I feel like Giroud is going to be the player to go for. And I know different people are going to have some different opinions, like Kramaric maybe if you fancy a Croatian man, El Nassiri if you fancy a Moroccan man, maybe, Julian Alvarez maybe from Argentina as well. I think Julian Alvarez is actually not a terrible pick either, to be honest. So, yeah. Alvarez and Giroud would probably be my 2 top picks. I think Giroud is my favourite. So, yeah, going with a forward line of Messi, Mbappe, or Giroud. Obviously, we don't need to make those transfers right this second just because, well, it doesn't matter. They don't play till tomorrow. You don't need to. You can wait. You never know. Could get a freak injury or something like that. So you can wait just that little bit before making those transfers. The other thing is, it doesn't really matter. Like, you don't need to worry about, I feel like maybe El Nassiri is going to do really well in this game. Okay, fair enough. But what about over the next 2 games? Because we are planning for 2 games. Like, even if you think Giroud and France are going to get knocked out at this stage of the tournament, think about France in a third place playoff. A bit of a nothing game, maybe a slightly open game. There's not going to be so much defensive mindedness, I guess, going into that final game. I mean, to be fair, defenders right now, can you really see any of these teams keeping clean sheets in either of the following 2 rounds? I don't know. I can't really personally, so I'm not going to go. I might not even pick up a defender. I might just change my goalkeeper and just roll with 2 defenders for this match day. I think that's absolutely fine to do that. I think the priority is obviously those forward slots. So once you've got your 3 forwards done, I think that's a very good place to start. After that, maybe you've got some more transfers to go with. I would definitely consider Perisic. Perisic is probably the number 1 midfielder I would be looking at for this match day. Again, doesn't matter if he gets knocked out in this round. Doesn't matter if Argentina win. You need to make that transfer tonight. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So let's get that done straight away. So I'll just take out Fernandes because he's the most expensive player. Going to replace him with Perisic. And I think that's a pretty easy transfer to make. One of the better goal scorers in that Croatia team. If you're going to fancy anyone to score in that game, maybe it's Perisic, maybe it's a Kramaric. But if we're looking for midfielders, which we are, midfielders are very, very difficult to pick notoriously in this fantasy game. Perisic is probably going to be a good one to go for. So let's confirm that one straight away. Perisic in, pretty easy. I think that's pretty easy. Maybe Griezmann, says Lomil. I do like Griezmann. I think he's playing very well. The only thing that worries me about Griezmann is that he's not quite been the dream fantasy asset that we like. Giroud is actually banging goals, which really does help. Really does help a lot. Griezmann, yes, he's got that little bit of creativity. But Griezmann, because he's listed as a forward, he's not picking up those points for key passes. He's not taking a tremendous amount of shots in the games either. So Griezmann is kind of a tough one. He's a good player, obviously, and if we were allowed an additional forward, then maybe I'd be saying, yeah, let's go for it. Or maybe if Griezmann was listed as a midfielder, I'd be saying, hey, let's have a look at that. But I don't think he provides quite the same as what Giroud does, sadly. Aside from that, so we've got Perisic in, 4 free transfers left to do. I mean, where do we go from here? After that, I'm obviously saving 2 of them to get Giroud and Mbappe in. I'll do that tomorrow. Aside from that, what are we thinking, guys? Do I really need another defender? Probably not. Do I go for a goalkeeper? Do I just go for my favourite goalkeeper at the tournament right now is Livakovic, because I think he's just been absolutely amazing, making so many saves. So do we get him in? I'm not convinced by any clean sheets in either of the remaining 2. So maybe I'm just looking for save points. And Livakovic has been an absolute machine. He's going to be sky high in confidence as well. And yes, again, you could say, I don't think that Croatia are going to move on to the final of the tournament. Who cares? They'll be playing in the 3rd place playoff. And, maybe that could happen. Anyone asking about power captains? It kind of depends. If you have a full squad, then a power captain could be good this match day. But for me, who's not even going to have a full squad, I'm not thinking about a power captain at all, because if I'm using my power captain, that captaincy goes on whoever scores the most points. The more players I have, the more chance I have of striking gold, if you like. So, yeah, if you've got a squad of 13, 14 players, 15 players, if that's even possible, then, certainly that's something that you could be considering. But I'm going to be saving mine to the final round as previously, to be honest. So, yeah, I love to see that the show team gang are in the chat. Rory says, go defender over goalkeeper. Why? Why? The only way that works out is that if your defenders have been useless for getting points because they have to get attacking returns. At least with a goalkeeper, they will pick up points organically by making saves. You never know, you could get a penalty save as well. With a defender, you have to have a defender who scores goals or gets assists, and it's so hard to pick out the right player for that. It is so hard because certainly remaining in this tournament, the only real you would say actually attacking defenders left in the tournament are, well, Teo Hernandez, you would definitely put in that category. After that, who are you putting in? Acuna, suspended for today's game, so you can't put him in. Even like Tagliafico, you probably wouldn't go for Tagliafico because he's probably not going to play in the final round anyway, so you're picking a player for this round but not the next round. On the other side of the Argentina defense, who are we going for there? Difficult to say. It's not going to, even if you can find an attacking defender, like Hakimi, for example, you'd say typically he is an attacking defender, but is he going to have that same license at this stage of the tournament? Is he going to have any license at all to get into those attacking positions? Probably not. He's probably going to have to sit in quite deep. He's going to be face-to-face with Mbappe for an entire game. So can you really imagine he kind of leaves his position naturally? So, yeah, I do really think it's very difficult. Very, very difficult to pick out a defender right now who I think is going to score points. Like Teo Hernandez is probably the only one. I like the way we've got a show. We've actually got a show team. We've got the show team gang. Those of you guys who follow my FPL content streams particularly will know all about the show team gang. In World Cup fantasy content, we've got the make transfers gang. The people who want me to make my transfers so they can make them. Like, you don't need me. You don't need me to make my transfers for you to make your transfers, my friend. I mean, if you were following my transfers last match day, then you'll probably be quite disappointed because I picked loads of Brazil players and they all got knocked out. So don't worry about me. Molina, obviously Molina did well in last match day, right? But again, Molina is not typically known. Like, if we go back through previous games, previous years, Molina is not known as a player who does get forward. I wonder if that was because in that particular game, and I know you can say, Molina very attacking forward. In that particular game, in the quarterfinals for Argentina were playing with a 3 at the back, which did give a little bit more license to the fullbacks. They're back to a 4 at the back formation today. So are we going to see Molina as far forward? Maybe not. Someone says show squash, FPL Chester. There you go. We've got an orange squash today. Not very much left, though. I've been swigging that all day. Which boosters do I have left? I've got the Power Captain left, but I'm not going to be using it today. I'll tell you that. I will not be using that today. Carter Dixon says, 800 people watching, only 47 likes. Like the video, guys. Yeah, I would massively appreciate that. If we could just get to 100, I'm not... this is, we are biding time really, aren't we, before the FPL content. But if you wouldn't mind liking, if we get to 100 likes, that would be sick. Any more than that is just a bonus, but 100 likes would be pretty nice. Nick Crouch says, I remember asking what if Brazil are a shock exit? There's always at least one. Yeah, of course. Then there will be every round, and that's just football. But I mean, at the same time, it felt unwise to neglect Brazil players. And you know what? Like last match day, I brought in Paqueta, I brought in Neymar, and that was literally 50% of my match day score, just those two players. So even though they did exit the tournament, they're still little scoring players, I guess. So, swings and roundabouts. If I replaced them with 2 Croatia players, perhaps I wouldn't have been so lucky with the points. So even though they went out, we take the points. We take the points. Who are your midfield essentials, says Julie Francisco. Midfield essentials, I would say Perisic. It looks like DePaul is actually going to be playing reasonably advanced, playing as a right midfielder. I think DePaul is going to be playing as a right midfielder. So that is there's some potential there. Perisic, obviously. After that, it does get difficult. We could maybe see if McAllister is playing in a slightly more advanced position. I think there's potential for McAllister to be playing on the left today, kind of a left midfield. So maybe him. France is just near enough impossible. You can maybe go for Rabiot. Rabiot seems to be the guy who is the most attacking of their midfield listed players. But again, you know, we are scraping the barrel. We're not expecting too much from these players. They're definitely not players we'd be taking -3s for, I don't think. And then after that, we've got kind of like Hakim Ziyech, obviously, is going to be one of those more attacking players. Luka Modric, maybe. I've not really... I'll have a look at his stats. I was having a look at some stats earlier for Croatia players. I wasn't too impressed, if I'm honest. Croatia World Cup stats, FB Ref. Yeah, and if you guys can read this, you probably won't be able to read it on screen, but I'll read it out to you anyway. So this is non-penalty XG plus XA per 90. Of course, we will probably ignore some of these top players because they haven't started, which is why their XG plus XA is so high. But you can see Perisic here, who I'm just highlighting there, is at 0.29 non-penalty XG plus XA per 90, which is it's decent. It's not like amazing, and there is no amazing. There really is no amazing in the midfield position. So that's why Perisic is one of the better ones, because 0.29, that basically translates as once every 3 games, he's expected to get an attack in return. Which doesn't sound like much, does it? But look, it's something. It's something. And to be fair, you know, it's per 90. So if games are going to 120 minutes, then maybe there's a chance of slightly more returns in a similar kind of, you know, amount of match days possibly. But after that, you know, we've got Modric down here, 0.18 expected, well, non-penalty expected goals plus expected assists per 90. It's not very much. Obviously, a penalty perhaps changes that entirely. So with Luka Modric, you really would be, you know, crossing your fingers and hoping for a penalty, which is very possible. Which is very, very possible. But, you know, you never know, do you? You never know. Anthony says, do we know if third place playoff is classed in this match day? No. No, it is. No, it's, well, unless they've changed the rules. Here we go. So, yeah. It should be on Saturday. The final deadline should be Saturday. I don't know where it's saying it's on Sunday. I don't know why it's saying that. But here we go. This says very, very clearly here on the rules. I'll just refresh the page just in case they have changed it. No, they have not. So, yeah, there we go, guys. Match day 7, knockout stage, third place playoff / final. And that is on the 17th of December, which is Saturday. So, yeah, third place playoff and final are bundled into match day 7. Not sure where that's where you're seeing other information on that one, but look, this is the rules page. I trust this one the most, I guess. So yeah, this is a great thing about this match day. Your players cannot be eliminated. They cannot be eliminated. But yeah, hopefully that kind of clears that up. Cameron says, "What's the team looking like?" It's not looking good, Brev. It's not looking good. Modric is an option, but I'd rather have Ziyech. And yeah, I'll show you Ziyech's stats as well. And by the way, someone asked what website I'm using. It's FB Ref. And I'm just putting FB Ref World Cup stats and then typing in the team. So let's go on Morocco next, who we haven't had a look at today. Let's scroll down here. Again, I know you guys can't see this so very well. It's really, really small on your screen. But I will try and read it out anyway so you can get a good idea. But yeah, at the top, again, we're seeing a lot of players who don't start. And then the best player who starts regularly is El Nassiri with a non-penalty XG plus XA per 90 is 0.2. So as much as we perhaps like El Nassiri as a bit of a hero of the tournament, his underlying numbers are not good. And, you know, that's including some much easier games as well. So yeah, very difficult for me to sit here and recommend El Nassiri above the likes of Olivier Giroud. Hakim Ziyech is similar, 0.19. But, of course, the benefit with Ziyech is that he's listed as a midfielder. So he's not taking up one of those valuable midfield positions. And we know he's on those set pieces as well. So maybe he sneaks in returns in that way. Possibly on penalties, Ziyech as well, you would say. Probably on penalties, to be fair. So that's going to be helpful. So Ziyech is definitely in the conversation. similar numbers to El Nassiri, but listed as a midfielder. So he's going to get more points for those goals as well. But yeah, again, there really is not very much. Maybe a small shout out to Romain Saiss, who's sitting at 0.17 expected returns per 90. Which is okay. It's okay for a defender. Certainly over a long period of time, you would expect Saiss to get a few returns. And, we've already seen that this tournament. So maybe potential for some more. But again, difficult to say with certainty. Is it worth a -3? Probably not. Is it worth just going for him outright? Hey, possibly. Why not? Possibly. If only he wasn't playing France, eh? Kyle says, to be honest, I'd try and spread out the risk between teams and hope you don't have to make as many transfers if they had got knocked out. Yeah, I mean, no one's getting knocked out. There is no getting knocked out at this stage of the fantasy game. You can't get knocked out because the third place playoff match is bundled in with the final for match day 7. So there is no knocking out. Yeah, I probably should keep repeating that one, guys, because I know, maybe a few people missed the memo on that one. But yeah, no players can get knocked out anymore of your fantasy team. Anyway, obviously they can get knocked out the tournament, kind of. But I mean, even if you lose your semi-final, technically you don't get knocked out because you still have to play one more game after, right? So, yeah, I guess it doesn't matter too much. Can you replace players who are out tomorrow, or is today the deadline? You can replace players tomorrow according to the rules. What transfers am I thinking of? Neymar and Richarlison will be going out for Mbappe and Giroud. But I'll be doing that tomorrow. Lloris probably comes in as well, which leaves me with one more transfer. Who knows? Who knows? A team gets to win twice and a team gets to lose twice. That's yeah, spot on, G-Red. Spot on. For Argentina, who would you rather have in your midfield? De Paul, McAllister, or Enzo Fernandes? Enzo Fernandez would probably be, I think, towards the bottom of my list, just because I think he's going to play slightly deeper than the others, but I'm not 100% sure. Like Enzo Fernandez, I've been quite impressed with, and you can get tackle points and you can get key pass points as well. Yeah, difficult. Who takes penalties for Croatia? That's going to be Modric. I have 8 players playing with a -3. Do I stick with it? Or do I not take it? I think I would not be taking too many hits. If you've got the main players, if you're missing a Messi or an Mbappe, then fair enough, take that -3. If the player you're going to be bringing in is just like some random, like De Paul or McAllister, who, very high chance of these kind of players not getting any attacking returns. Is it really worth taking a -3 for them? Probably not. So I would say no. Pedro says, if Argentina were to sub their fullbacks, who would you say is most likely to be subbed? So Tagliafico is playing this game. He can't get subbed because, he could technically still, but Acuna is suspended for this game. So Tagliafico should, in theory, play the whole game, but Tagliafico probably doesn't play the following match day, right? Because Acuna is the preferred left back for Argentina. Modric or De Paul? Tough one. I mean, De Paul's underlying numbers are not terrible. Let me just refresh this page. I can't remember if I refreshed it or not. So De Paul's numbers are not terrible, but they're not amazing. So here we are. Non-penalty XG plus XA is 0.2. So that's actually better than Modric. But he's not on penalties. So maybe the penalty factor swings you in Modric's favour, potentially, as a straight choice. Could be creating a little bit as well. But De Paul is not a bad pick. McAllister's numbers are pretty good as well. Enzo Fernandez numbers pretty good. Similar kind of, honestly, out of those guys, it's so hard to choose which one. I mean, I would maybe be thinking about going for McAllister. Just because he's McAllister and he's a bit of a legend and he's a Scotsman. He's a Scotsman playing for the mighty Argentina. Isn't McAllister much more offensive over DePaul? I wouldn't say so, no. Maybe in this match, just because I think McAllister is going to be playing in a kind of advanced position. But DePaul has been playing in advanced positions this whole tournament, really. Griezmann or Giroud? I would go for Giroud. Rabiot struck with illness. Is that a concern? I would not be making any transfers to France players until tomorrow anyway. Enzo or DePaul? I would go for DePaul because I think DePaul is going to play both this match day and next match day. If Di Maria is back for match day 7, then either McAllister, Fernandez, or Paredes, and it probably is going to be Paredes, is going to drop out. But if Paredes then drops out, then that means that one of McAllister or Enzo Fernandez is going to be playing a lot deeper. Potentially both of them are going to be playing quite deep if Di Maria comes back into the team for the following match day. So if you're thinking a little bit slightly more longer term with it, or, you know, kind of a 2 match day projection, then DePaul is my favourite of the 3, you know, the 3 Argentina midfielders, you know. Griezmann, absolute differential? Yeah, for sure. It's a nice differential. Ziyech or Perisic? I prefer Perisic. When to use a 12th man? Yeah, difficult to say. Last week, the week before that. Any week but now or next week. No, I don't know. There's not really very many expensive players. Could you use it? Could you use the 12th man to make sure you have Mbappe, Messi, Giroud, and Julian Alvarez in your team? Possibly. Haven't spoken about captains today either, guys, which I don't think I need to. Messi today, Mbappe tomorrow. Simple as. Simple as that, pretty much, isn't it? I think so. Griezmann over Alvarez, do you reckon? Stats would suggest... actually, what would stats suggest? Julian Alvarez, 0.51 per 90. That's pretty decent. What's Griezmann? I don't know if it's quite that high. France FB Rev World Cup stats. Is Griezmann that high? He is higher. But sadly, it's pretty much all on XA. Whereas Alvarez is... Oh, wait, I'm going to find Alvarez again. Is pretty much all the other way, isn't it? Yeah, it's all on his XG. So, if you're looking for goals, specifically, then it's Alvarez. If you're looking for just any return, then it's Griezmann. But again, this is the issue. Griezmann is creating a lot, but he doesn't pick up points for creating because he's listed as a forward, which is so frustrating. Which is why it kind of makes him not a non-option. I think he's definitely still an option, but it's really, really kind of dented his chances of getting attacking returns over the likes of Giroud, for example, who is, you know, seemingly clear on Griezmann in terms of a fantasy pick. Clear. Yeah, you can see Rabiot there is you know, getting a few good chances. So Rabiot is definitely another player that I would be thinking of getting. I think I'm getting towards deadline now. I think I'm going to go for... I don't think I'm going to get a defender today. I think I kind of want to get Rabiot if he's available. Aside from that, I'm not bothered. So I need to get 3 France players tomorrow. So I've got 1 transfer to use now, basically. Who's to go for? I think go for a goalkeeper. I think Livakovic. I think he could be making some saves in this game. Because they will be, you know, we can imagine Argentina will be taking some shots. Alexis McAllister will go for a Croatia defender. Probably McAllister. Just start to transfer, Dan. Not much time. Yeah, no, we've got 25 minutes. Do I know if Power Captain Boost is also used on bench players? According to the rules, yes, but I don't know how that works. Has anyone used their Power Captain yet? And if so, Does it ever sub in a player who's on your bench? Does anyone know? I already have Martinez, so he has to be the one. Yeah, that makes sense. Is -3 for Rabiot worth it? I mean, maybe. But look, there is rumours of illness, so I would not be doing it now. If we find out tomorrow he's starting for sure, then yeah, why not? If you've got a wild card, then go for it now. Right now, yeah. If you've got a wild card left, use it this match day. Don't wait till next match day. Who will win today, Dan? Oh, don't ask me. You know, you asked me last week and I said Brazil will beat Croatia, but it can be as obviously like, look, it's really easy for me to say Argentina will beat Croatia because obviously Argentina are the favourites, but football doesn't always work like that. So I'm happy to predict that Argentina will win. I think that's a sensible prediction, but this is football, right? Is De Paul the best Argentina midfielder? In my opinion, yes. Other than Di Maria when he's starting, but he's not. Who if Rabiot doesn't start? No one. If Rabiot doesn't start, then I mean, who else do you go for? You're just picking you're picking out of a hat. Ziyech for tomorrow maybe. Ziyech I'd be happy to go for. If Rabiot doesn't start tomorrow, I'd be happy to go for Ziyech instead. What about Lloris? Chance for clean sheet? Yeah, good chance. There's a chance. But there's a chance for anyone, right? I mean, we saw that Croatia didn't really create anything, really, against Brazil last match day. Livakovic could make some saves. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like, whoever is making saves, I think it's going to be almost impossible to predict clean sheets. I mean, it's, you know, we can very easily sit here and say Argentina likely for a clean sheet. Yeah, that's true. Why is everyone sleeping on Boufal? Yeah, he seems to be playing quite well, but you know it's difficult. Every game is difficult, and there's arguably no such thing as good picks anymore. Is it worth having a Croatian defender? If you want to, they're like a very difficult team to play against, really. So I think I'm going to go for Livakovic. Let's go for him. Let's see what happens. Like at the end of the day, he's guaranteed to be playing following 2 match days. I can keep going all in on certain teams, but let's try and spread it a little bit. I've got Otamendi from this game as well, so let's see if I can get a clean sheet out of anyone. I'm not too bothered about taking risks at this point in the tournament. And I think Livakovic will make saves, and I think Messi could miss penalties as well. We've seen that happen. If Livakovic is, you know, if we're picking a goalkeeper to save a penalty and a main penalty taker to miss a penalty remaining in this tournament, Messi versus Livakovic, you never know, right? So, yeah, I'm pretty sure I like that one. Plus, if the favourites both go through, I would quite like to have Livakovic versus Morocco in the 3rd place playoff as well, which is another big thing. Sosa, yeah, I mean, if you want to, like, is anyone really seriously having money problems at this stage of the tournament? Probably not. So I don't think you need to worry about, you know, going for cheap options anymore because there's not really that many expensive players left. Like if we look at all of the players left in the game, there's only two players worth more than 10 million. There's only 2 players worth more than 8.5 million. I mean, 8.5. There's a couple of 8s, but again, some of these players we're not going to pick anyway. Griezmann is going to be hard to fit in. Di Maria's not even playing. Luka Modric is probably a little bit too more expensive. Martinez is not starting anymore. Koeman's not starting. Dembele is starting, but again, can you fit him in? Probably not. Dybala's not playing. So even a lot of these expensive players, and it seems almost pointless for going for cheap players at this stage. Like, I'm not going for Livakovic because he's cheap. I'm going for Livakovic because I think he's absolutely goated. So yeah, let's lock him in, and I think I'll probably leave it there. Like no cap. Let's confirm that. And there you go. There's my match day. My match day 16. Livakovic, Otamendi, De Paul, Perisic, Hernandez, and Messi. That's it. That's it. Is it worth -3 for any goalkeeper? Probably not. Probably not. On average, you're going to lose out on points, but there's a chance that you make good of it. But on average, you will lose out on points. Tchouameni is not going to score a goal like that every match day, let me tell you that. Otamendi over Molina. Difficult one. I mean, if Argentina were playing 5 at the back again, then I would be looking at Molina, but they're not. That's a tough one. Like, both are good options. Money's not really an option, so I guess you could go for Molina. But don't sleep on Otamendi. He's still providing a little bit of attacking threat from those set pieces. He seems to be the target man from those set pieces, which is interesting. Otamendi over Modric over Ziyech. I think I prefer. Do we know it was on penalties for Morocco? I forgot. I mean, I made a whole video about it, but I actually forgot. Morocco. If we go... Oh, I spelt that completely wrong. Let's have a look. Let's find out. Okay. Penalty takers. So, Boufal has taken 2 penalties. Was Modric on the pitch? So, 66 minutes and 70... this was in 66 minutes. He scored the penalty, right? Yep. Was Ziyech on the pitch at 66 minutes? Because this is where we find out. Yes, he was. So there you go. Boufal, penalty taker for Morocco. I think that pretty much confirms that one. So if you're looking for a penalty taker for Morocco, then Boufal, why not? Why not? Brozovic stats are good, are they? Not really. Not really. Pretty poor. I've locked in both Giroud and Mbappe. Is it a mistake? Not really. I think you're pretty good to go. I'm being overcautious. Which I wish I did last match day, to be honest. Thoughts on best Argentina and Croatia mids? Best Argentina midfielder is De Paul. Best Croatia midfielder is Perisic. Outside of that, you're kind of just picking players for the sake of picking players. Oh, there's no one outside of that I'd take a -3 for. If I had to pick one midfielder for a -3, who should it be? Already have Di Maria, De Paul and Perisic. We kind of covered all of the players likely to... I wouldn't take a -3 for anyone outside of De Paul and Perisic, personally. I don't even think I'd take a -3 for De Paul. Actually, no. You know what? No, that's a lie. I would take a -3 for De Paul. I mean, like, maybe... McAllister? Maybe. Are we thinking McAllister is going to score 3 points or more? Because that is that's it, isn't it? If we go for his points the last few match days, 1, 1, 11, 2, 0. So, I don't know. The 11 was fantastic. But is it going to happen every match day? No, it's not going to happen every match day. On average, he probably scores less than 3 points. I don't know. De Paul or Rabiot? Right now, De Paul. Obviously, we can revisit that tomorrow, though. I think I'm done. Just the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players for today. I'm thinking about McAllister. How do we think? How do you think we're gonna see? And let's should we go on Google? Or actually no, let's go on. What's that website that's quite good for lineups? Usually gets it pretty accurate. Who scored? Who scored is probably usually pretty accurate. So let's see how they think Argentina is going to line up and see if it's anything like what I thought it would be. Preview. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's not even the right lineups. So, okay. Maybe not. Let's see what Google reckons. Argentina, Croatia. Let's see what they reckon in terms of lineups. Okay, so yeah, that's exactly what I thought it would be. So De Paul on the right and McAllister on the left. So yeah, that does bring McAllister into conversations, I guess. I mean, possibly. Enzo Fernandez maybe in conversations. He's going to be a little bit freed up if Paredes is playing there. But again, you're counting on tackles and key passes really to get points. Yeah, I mean, McAllister is an okay option. How many French defenders? One, as long as it's Teo Hernandez. You don't need them. You don't need anyone. Points are not there to be taken really at this stage. Can you change captains now and then tomorrow as well? Yeah, so yeah, I think everyone's probably going to agree. Captain Messi today, captain Mbappe tomorrow. If Messi doesn't work out. Pretty easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Should I use Di Maria? I mean, you may as well. You may as well try him out. He's not starting, but you could get some time off the bench. Yeah, Teo Hernandez is the only France defender that I like. The rest are like kind of, take them or leave them. Any idea when to use the power captain? Well, I mean, if you don't have a full squad this match day, I probably would not be using the power captain this match day. If you've got a full squad, 15 players or whatever, then I would consider using it this match day, but I don't think you have to. Chris says, am I the only one who thinks Argentina will lose? I'm sure you're not the only one at all. I'm sure there's a few other people out there. I mean, look, there's a very good chance of that happening, right? Do you just stick with Messi if he gets 6 points? Yeah, I think so. I think maybe... I think 7 points and you're sticking with Messi, right? 6 points, you've got a bit of a decision to make. 5 points, you probably switch. Probably. 4 points, you switch. 4 points or less, you switch your captain, I think. 5, probably. 6, coin toss. 7, you stick. Is 8 or 9 players enough for this match day without taking a hit? Yeah, that's what I'll be running. I'll be running with... Well, by the end of this match, there will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 3 more. Was that 8? Have I got 5 players? Am I counting right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, I'm not counting right. No, I'll have 9, and I have no intention of taking any minuses. No intention whatsoever. So I think 9 points is going to be fine. I think it's going to be an advantage to the people who don't take hits. I think a great way to get ahead is to not take hits, because a lot of people are going to be taking a hell of a lot of minus points. Like, actually, to be fair, there's going to be kind of 2 schools of people. There'll be people... Actually, no, okay. There'll be 3 types of people at this stage of World Cup Fantasy. Number 1, the elite gang, and that's us. We are the elite gang who are, like, really thinking hard. We're no-lifing this. We are absolutely... being super cautious, like not cautious necessarily, but we're being sensible, and we're being pragmatic, and we're being, trying to just play this tournament out for what it's worth for the rest of it, knowing that you're not going to move up rank or down rank very much for the rest of the tournament now, and just rolling with it, picking the best players and not worrying about the rest players. So, make sure you got the best. Don't worry about the rest. Don't take the minus 3 points to get the rest. There'll be another school of people, I guess, who will be taking minuses because they'll just be thinking either, I just want to risk it and see what can happen. 9 times out of 10, maybe not 9 times out of 10, but certainly like 7 times out of 10, that is not going to work out. So you've got advantage over 7 out of 10, maybe even 8 out of 10 of those people who are just taking a load of minus 3s, taking these risks, Some people will just be taking minuses just like because they just feel like they just want a full squad of players for whatever reason. Easy advantage over those people. And finally, another group of people will be people who have just given up. And I would not blame them either. And I would not be surprised if many of you guys have kind of half given up as well. I would definitely say that I'm certainly not as committed to this game at this stage of the tournament as I was last week. It's not to say I'm not trying anymore, but, I'm not put nearly as much research into this match day as I have done for all of the previous match days. But hopefully we've got enough information from the previous match days anyway to make decisions, you would say, in theory. But yeah, that kind of third group of people have just given up, and they're not even going to bother making transfers, and they'll just pick some random players, and they won't really be concentrating or whatever. And if you have still got any dedication to this game, you're going to have advantage over those people as well. So yeah, I think it's possible still to gain a little bit of rank, particularly over people who are either not as committed to the game anymore or just taking -3s like crazy. You are so cringy? Why? Because I like fantasy football. Okay. Enzo or Rabiot? If Rabiot is available, I prefer Rabiot. If he's available. But we're not going to find that out until tomorrow. Time's up. It's not quite up yet. We've got a few minutes. Unless my time is wrong with my computer for some reason. It's not, but you almost got me. Argentina defender or McAllister? I would probably go for a defender, to be honest. Hey Dan, is the match for third place count for points? Yes, it counts as match day 7 points. Best Croatian defender? Probably actually genuinely Sosa. Even though he is only 3.5, he probably is genuinely the best defender. I've been pretty impressed by him. I think a lot of people have been impressed by him, to be honest. Rabiot's got 12 points on day one and has lived on it since. Yeah, but his underlying numbers continue to be not bad. Is it crazy to put McAllister captain? It's pretty crazy. Alvarez captain, again, pretty crazy. But there's nothing wrong with crazy. There's nothing wrong with crazy. You've got Mbappe to fall back on tomorrow if it goes really, really wrong. So, hey, why not? Why not? If you don't fancy Messi, why not? Molina or DePaul? Probably DePaul. I think I prefer DePaul to all of the Argentina defenders. Unless you really think that Argentina are going to keep a clean sheet. But, what are the actual chances? Juranovic? You prefer Juranovic to Sosa? I like Sosa more. Right, but that's pretty much just on eye test. I don't know what the actual stats are saying. What are the stats saying? Stats are saying Sosa for attacking returns. The eye test works. Modric or McAllister? You get penalties at least with Modric. Giroud, Alvarez or Griezmann? Giroud. Otamendi or Romero? Probably Otamendi. More nailed and better, probably slightly better than chances of attacking returns. Is it absolutely 100% undisputed that Mbappe must be captain match day 2? I don't know about match day 2, but certainly this match day, Messi, you take a punt on Messi before Mbappe, right? Surely. McAllister or DePaul? DePaul. DePaul for me. Power captain this match day or the next match day? I would wait. It's going to be very much dependent on your team. I've had my eye on the match day 7 power captain this whole tournament, and I'm not going to waver on that one, I don't think. Is Ziyech worth a -3? Possibly not. Possibly not. Eli says, currently first by 1 point in my school league for 100 quid. Well, good luck, Eli. 2 more match days, my friend. You'll get there. William says, power captain this week or next. Again, it's going to be team dependent. It's going to be team dependent, but I'm leaning towards next match day, just because I feel like that third place playoff game is going to be kind of open. And you never know who's going to be the hero, do you? But if you've got a lot of players, I'm going to have 9 players for this match day. So for me, is it worth it for 9 players, or can I wait till the following match day where I have 11 players? And it's going to be a lot, there's going to be those extra couple of chances for me to hit that big scoring player. So I would wait until you have at least 11 players in your team, possibly more, before using your power captain. If you've got less than 11, then I'll probably save it. But you can now. If it works for you, it works for you. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. Is next match day the third place playoff? Next match day is both the third place playoff and the final. So 2 games in match day 7, third place and final. So yeah, no one, you haven't got any chance of having your players knocked out, which is pretty nice. Hakimi or Saiss? Saiss has actually got better underlying numbers than Hakimi. Make of that what you will. Is it worth putting in Modric for a -3? If you think he's going to get a penalty, yes. If you don't think he's going to get a penalty, then no. Perisic, I think, is worth a -3. Modric, I'm not so sure. It's a risk, right? It's a risk. Jao says, save my wild card for this match day. I hope it gives me the edge. It could do. It could do. Are you making your last 3 transfers? No, not today. Not today. -3 to get 11 players if my competition has wildcard to use? I don't think so. If you take a -3 and your player that you bring in gets 0 points or 1 point or 2 points, or even 3 points, then it was probably a pointless exercise. Dan, I think you should have a cup of tea. I've got a lovely cup of tea in my holy guacamole mug. No less. No less. McAllister or Modric? I'd probably lean towards Modric on that one, just because of the penalty edge. Are you keeping your Brazilian players? No, they're going to be going. Well, I mean, yeah, they'll be going at one point or another. Modric on pens? Yes. Yes. Yes, indeed. Let's just make sure I've got all of the Argentina and Croatia players I want, and I'm pretty sure I have. Are there any ones I'm missing, really? Probably not. Yeah, we've got Perisic. We've got. Yeah, I'm not really feeling any of those fullbacks. I'm not feeling any of the defenders really. Not for a -3 anyway. And then tomorrow we'll just go for one of Ziyech or Rabiot and then switch up the 2 forwards. And I think I'm probably going to be pretty happy with that, to be honest. It won't be a mega score from me, but there's not really going to be such thing as mega scores. We're going to have Messi and Mbappe carry me to glory, and the rest of them, well, I guess we'll see. McAllister might get subbed to make place for Di Maria. Yeah, there's a chance. Dan, who do you think will make the finals? Boring, sensible answer is Argentina and France, right? Argentina and France. But look, there's been upsets this tournament so far. Who's to say there won't be a couple more? McAllister or Rabiot? Assuming Rabiot plays, I prefer Rabiot. Di Maria only played... Yeah, Di Maria is still not fit to start. Hence, he's not starting today. He's still not quite ready. But I don't know if he's going to be ready for match day 7. If he is, then I think he comes back into conversation. If he isn't, then... Yeah, just not happening. Enzo or McAllister? Flip a coin. You've got not very much time to make that decision. Dan, who is it? GOAT Messi or Ronaldo? Come on. It's Messi at this point, right? Rory says, content's class, Dan, cheers for still going live. That's no problem, my friend. I mean, it is a bit of a problem. There are places I'd rather be. No, I'm joking. No, I've not made any content for Matchday 6. So I thought we'd better do something. Bare minimum. So I don't think I deserve any praise for doing absolute bare minimum. But we are almost at the match. It's about to start now. So I think it's time we head off. If you guys wouldn't mind leaving a like... on the stream, that'd be appreciated. I think we'll do a stream after tomorrow's game as well. If any of you guys are interested, then yeah, we will be back, I think, after that game, and we'll have a discussion about Matchday 7 and about the football in general as well. We'll have a bit of a chill one after Matchday 6 ends, immediately after that game. So it'll be, what, like 9 p.m.-ish, depending on when that game finishes tomorrow, UK time. Hopefully see a few guys there. But yeah, like I say, like the stream, subscribe if you haven't done already. We'll be back tomorrow with another stream. I'm going to go watch the game. Hopefully a few of you guys are as well. Appreciate you guys watching and being patient with my lack of content this match day. Hopefully a little bit more next match day. There we go. Yeah, cheers guys. Enjoy the football, and I'll see you later, mates. Bye-bye.